Hello and welcome to this tutorial video. In this tutorial I'm going to walk you through on the basics of video editing or an introduction to video editing using Adobe Premiere Pro CC. So as you may know, Adobe Premiere Pro is an industry standard video editing software that can be used to create different kinds of video projects, from movies to commercial videos and music videos. So having skills using Premiere Pro is going to be something that you will not regret. So as of recording this video, the latest version of Adobe Premiere Pro is CC 2020. Now right now on my screen I am using CC 2019. Now the difference are not that much, so you will be able to follow along even if you are having CC 2020. Now as you can see on my screen right now, I have the welcome screen. When you launch Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019-2020, this is what you are actually going to see. Now as you can see, you are seeing my recent project. That means the project that I have been working on recently. And then on the left hand side also you see some other options. So if I want to start a new project, what I'm going to do, or open an existing project that is not on the list, then I have to choose open. So we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to start creating a new project. So when I click on new project, then a dialog box will appear. Within this dialog box, there are a few things that I need to do before I start working on the project. So here, as you can see, the default name is untitled. So I am going to give the project a name depending on what I am working on. So I'm just going to name this project as test project. And then I also need to choose a location where I'm going to save this project. So as you can see here, it is showing me the last folder I have used when I was working with the last project. So the previous project folder, that is what is here. So I need to change this before I proceed. So I will click on browse and then I will go to documents. So I have already created, so I will recommend you to do something like this. So make sure the project file is in the same folder with where your footages are. Now they can be in separate folders if you wish, but preferably if you can put both your video files that you are going to work with and audio and pictures, make sure they are all in the same folder, and also your project file. So as you can see, I've already created a folder for the project that I'm going to work on, which is called test project. So I'm going to save the project in this folder. So I'll open this folder. Now, as you can see, you are not going to see anything because this preview you are not going to see the videos. But if I go to the file explorer here and then go to documents and then go to test project, you will see that the videos are here. These are the videos that I want to work on in this project. So I would prefer, or preferably, that's how I work, because everybody has their own workflow. So I always like to have my project folder or my project stored in the same location where the videos are, so that this will also help you if you are trying to move your project from one computer to another. In that case, you just grab the entire folder and move it to another computer and continue working. So it's okay, you can separate your videos and your project file, no problem, but preferably if you can do it that way. So right now I am inside the test project, which is under the documents folder. So I'm going to click select folder. So that means if I click OK right now, the test project is going to be saved in the folder called test project, right? So as you can see, you have some settings here: general, scratch this, ingest settings, etc. So most of the time this general, you leave it to the default. But we can also still look at scratch disk. So you also have captured videos and all those. So if you want everything to be saved in the same folder, so your captured videos, your captured audio, so that means the videos and the audios that you are working on in Premiere Pro, they will all be saved in the same path. As you can see, you see test project. So it will pick it up from this area because you chose to save it in this particular folder, so they will all pick it up from there. And then the captured audio, that one is going to this particular path, so that's no problem. And then you have the video previews. So the video preview, because in Premiere Pro you have to perform what they call rendering, so we'll deal with that later. So when you want to preview some of the videos, when you're creating videos in Premiere Pro, sometimes before you have a perfect preview, you must render your, let's say for example you add effects or you change something, you must perform what they call rendering. So rendering takes a lot of space, so it is also advisable to have, if possible, you have a separate drive. Let's say if you're working on a desktop computer, you can have a separate hard drive where all your rendered files are going to be saved. So as you can see, I have created a folder in a, let me show you, I've created a folder inside drive D. Where is drive D? In drive D, I created a folder and I call it renders. So this renders folder, anything that I render is going to that drive automatically. So you can set the render folder for your Premiere Pro project, which can be on a separate hard drive. So if you're working with a laptop, maybe that might, mostly laptops have a single hard drive, unless if it is partitioned, or maybe you can use an external hard drive. But if you don't have these facilities, what you need to do, you can still use the same folder. You can browse and use the same folder, and all the rendered files will be in that folder, so that when you are moving that project, you are also moving along the rendered files. But remember, rendered files take a lot of space, so time to time you may go to the renders folder and then clear the files that are there. But we'll talk more about rendering in a next video. So basically you can leave those every other thing here to the default. Ingest also, that one you just leave it to the default. So let's click OK. So when you click OK right now, you have a brand new Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019 project. Now you may see a lot of buttons here, but don't worry, you're going to understand most of these panels and buttons all over the place. So first I want us to concentrate on the menu here. Now with from version 2018 to 2020, they did a little work on the interface, so it becomes much more easy to navigate and do some work within the Premiere Pro interface. So as you can see here, you have what they call workspaces. Each of these, when you click on them, you have a different workspace depending on what you're doing. Now most of the time you are going to be in the editing area. So but as you can see, let's start with learning. So when I click on learning, this is actually helpful for somebody who is a complete beginner to Adobe Premiere Pro. So when you click on learning, what is going to happen is learning is going to help you and give you some basic tutorials about how to go about with Premiere Pro. So you can click on them and then it will automatically insert something in the project, and then it will teach you on how to actually, it's just like help in any other program, but this one is visual. All right, so let me go to the next one, which is assembly. So mostly assembly is used when you want to import projects. So normally how I work is After creating my project, the first thing that I need to do before you start editing, obviously you have to first import your projects, your project file, that is your videos, your audios, your pictures. You have to import them. So most of the time, as you can see, the interface has changed. Any one of these tabs or workspaces that you click, you will see a different interface. So that means there will be the panels. As you can see here, you are seeing only 3 panels, 1, 2, 3. So right now, as you can see, it says import media to start. So you can do it in different ways. So if I want, I can double click on this area so that I will be able to see the import folder dialog box or import file dialog box. Or if I want, I can also right click and then say import. Or if I want, I can go to file and then click import. Or if I want, I can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+I. Now either way, you can still use any of these options. So I'm going to double click, which is easier for me. Then I will go to my project folder. My project folder is under documents, and then I have test project. So as you can see, I already have the project saved in that particular folder. So as you can see, like I was saying, your project files and your Premiere Pro project, preferably, that's how I work. I put everything in the same folder, so that because there are times some people will have difficulties finding their project file. So if you put them in the same folder with the videos, it becomes a lot easier. So if I want to import a particular file, or I can press Ctrl and select the files that I want to import. Let's say these 2 videos are the ones that I want to import, or I can just select them and click open. So as you can see, it will import those files inside this area. So let me delete them and show you something. So when I double click again, this time, let's say for example, I want to upload the entire folder. So if I want to upload the entire folder, then I will click on import. So when I click on import, so why are you seeing this? Because Premiere Pro has detected that there is something, or there is a project file inside that folder. Remember, we saved the project file inside that folder. That's why we are seeing this. That's why it says project, test project, project import type, import entire project, import selected sequence, import, because it detects that there is a project file inside that area. You understand? So what you can do, you can just click OK. So when you click OK, you will see that the entire folder with the folder name will be imported. But if there's no file like this, if at all there were no file like this one, then it will import without showing you that dialog box. So if you open, as you can see, you will see all the videos. So remember, this button here is used to move you up one folder, right? So you can either import the entire folder, or you can go to a folder and select manually. So if you also, you can do something like this. Let me just delete this. So if you want to delete, just right click and say clear. So you have some other options here. You can create different type of objects here, but let's focus on the bin. The bin is just like creating a new folder. So when you click on bin, so let's say I just create a bin or a folder, and I call it let's say I call it footages. So maybe this is where I am going to save my video footages. Then I create another folder, I call it images. That's the folder where I'm going to save all the images in this project. Then I'm going to create another folder and call it audio. And also if I want, I can create another folder and call it presets. That depends if I'm going to use presets on this project. So this way you'll be able to manage your files. So that's why we're in the assembly workspace. On the assembly workspace, you will be able to assemble your files that you're going to be working on the project. So right now I can open on footages, then double click, then I can choose the footages that I want to work on, import them. So all the videos are going to be in that folder. So as you can see, it will show you that there are 2 items in that folder. Then when I go to images, I can also double click, then I look for the image that I want to use and I import it, so the image will be there. So I can actually do this to audio and then import all the files that I need on this project. So when I'm done assembling my files, the next stage is this other workspace, which is editing. So when I click on editing, the entire workspace is going to actually change. So right now I'm in editing mode. So let's look at the interface here. In editing mode, you have two different monitors. So let me just click on, right now I'm the audio clip mixer. I'm going to click on source. So you have two monitors. The first monitor is called the source monitor, and then the second monitor is called the program monitor. So the difference between these two is that the source monitor, this is where you can take the videos that you want to cut, and then you cut them, you put them on the timeline. This place is called the timeline, and then you'll be able to preview what you have in the timeline in this monitor. So this monitor previews what is on the timeline here. This you can use to cut in and cut out your videos and then drag them on the timeline, and then they will be visible, or the preview will be on the program monitor. So this area, as you can see, this is where you will find so just be careful. If you are on any of these tabs, make sure you are on the tab that contains project with the name of your project folder. So as you can see, so right now if I want to start bringing audio, or sorry, bringing any file from this place, what I need to do is let's say I'm going to open my project folder, or the footages folder. So when I double click, I can either double click or I can click and drag. So either way, so I'm going to double click, so the video is going to appear here. So at this point I can start playing. At this point I can start. As you can see, I already have a green background. Okay, so technically, so here is where I can cut in and cut out and choose the exact location, the exact part that I want on this video. So I may not need everything on the timeline, but I may just need a few areas. So I'm going to play from the beginning. Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to start from where I say hello. So these two buttons, this is called mark in and this one is called mark out. So when I click on mark in, also can be used, the keyboard can be used letter I, and mark out you can also use letter O. So I'm going to click on this. That means that is the beginning of my video. So I'm going to click the playhead. In this tutorial I am going to show you how to create a green screen effect. So let's say that's where I want to stop, then I can click on mark out. So as you can see, the video is lengthy, but I am only choosing a fraction of this video, So by looking at it, let me just clear it. So let's say I made a mistake and I want to start all over, so I can just right click on that area and then say clear in and out. So if you look at here, the duration of this clip is 1 minute 51 seconds and 15 milliseconds, but I'm just going to choose few seconds. So I'm going to mark in. Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I am going to show you how to create a green screen effect. So let's say I want to mark out. So right now I am only choosing 9 seconds, right? 9 seconds, 19 milliseconds from this clip that I have, which was originally 1 minute 51 seconds. So now this area is called the timeline. This is where you're going to do all the magic. This is where you're going to do all the editing, the cutting, the effects and whatever. So right now it depends on what I want to bring in here. So if I want to bring both the video and the audio that is on this clip on the timeline, then I need to click and drag on the video and then bring it here. As you can see, you have a plus sign appearing there, so I will just release. So when I release, automatically, as you can see, now I am seeing something on the preview window, that is the program window, and then you can see now that the timeline has been created, and automatically a sequence is also created. So I will tell you, I will explain what a sequence is. So if you look at here, as you can see, you have so only the place that I cut, that I mark in and mark out, that is the only place that is going to appear on the timeline. So when I play, as you can see, in this tutorial I am going to show you how to create a green screen effect. So that is how it works. So you use the source monitor to choose where you want to cut from a particular clip, and then you bring it on the timeline. So I can go back and choose another location, cut in, cut out, and then drag that video and bring it and then attach it next to this one. So all these things can be done. So right now, as you can see in the clip here, the first one here, you have video 1, video 2, video 3. That means you have different layers here, and then you have audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. That means you can also have different audio layers. So as you can see, we have one video layer, one audio layer. This one here is the audio, that's why it's on the audio track, and this one is the video, that is why you are having the video track. Now let's say, for example, you only want to bring in the video without the audio, so that's why you have these two buttons here. So as you can see, it says drag video only. So when you drag the video only the video is going to appear on the timeline. So when I play, I will not hear any sound right now. And then if you want to only drag and bring the audio, you click on that, as you can see, but you don't have to bring it up here, you have to bring it down on the audio track. So right now, your object for the first, so as you can see, only the audio is playing without that. So remember, if you want the video and the audio to appear on the timeline, you have to drag on the video itself. If you want only the video, you drag this one, only the audio, you drag this other one, right? So basically that's how you can bring stuffs on the background. So as you can see, before we even move further on the timeline, there is what they call a sequence. So automatically a sequence was created when we drag the video. So the sequence name is automatically picked from the video's name, from the clip's name. So as you can see, but this can also be changed. So if you're seeing two videos here, right? These are the videos that we imported, and then when I go back to the test project here, you will see that a sequence was created. These are the two videos that I have on my project. When I go to the main folder, I will see that a sequence has been created. You will know that a file or something on your project is a sequence when you see this icon here. It shows you that that is a sequence, not a video or audio or whatever. So I can change the name of the sequence by just clicking once, and then maybe I can name it as whatever, test sequence. Right, I can name it as test sequence. Right, so this is the sequence that is appearing here on the timeline. You see, as you can see, when I change this name, this place will also be updated. Now one thing that you need to understand also is try by all means your sequence settings to match the video footages. Now how do we check that? So technically, let's go to the videos that we have on this project. So I'm working on this video. So if I right click on this video and then go to properties and then go to the details. Now if you look at here, this video was shot using 1920 by 1080 pixels, right? 1920 by 1080. So I need to also make sure that my sequence is that. So automatically when I drag that video, a sequence was automatically created using the same settings from the video. So how will you know the settings of your sequence, whether it is 1920 by 1080, which is actually full HD? So you'll go to sequence and then you go to sequence settings. So when you go to sequence settings, as you can see, you have, this is a 1980p video, and then the time base is 50 frames per second. So let's confirm whether this video was shot at 50 frames per second. So so yes, the frame rate, so automatically it took, when I dragged the video on the timeline, it took the frame width, the frame height, and the frame rate, and create a sequence out of that. So as you can see, the settings of the video are the same as the settings of the sequence. Okay, so but there might be times when you create, let's say for example, I want to create a new sequence based on the videos that I'm going to import. So let's say for example, right now I don't have any sequence, so I'm going to close this sequence. I don't have any sequence, and I want to create a sequence based on the projects that I am working on, or based on this video. So remember, this video has a frame size, the width is 1920 and the height is 1080. So what I'm going to do, if I want to create a new sequence, I will say file new, and then go to sequence, or you can press Ctrl N, is the same. So you can just leave this to standard. You have different presets here. So I'm going to name this as let me just name it as test, and then I click OK. So when I click OK, a new sequence has been created. It uses the default there. So but I can still go and then say settings, and then go up at the top here, the editing mode, and I choose custom. So let's say even though the video was shot using 50 frames per second, I can change it. The standard usually cinematic, what is more cinematic, is the 23.976. So I want my final video to use 23.976 frames per second. So I can change this because I already know the frame height and width. So the frame width is 1920 by 1080p. Alright, that's what they call 1080p. 1920 by 1080. So I can come here and choose make sure you choose square pixels. So after doing that, now you can click on OK, and now you have changed. As you can see, even your screen has adjusted, the program monitor has adjusted. So basically now you have two sequences. So I can work with two sequences simultaneously. When I double click, right now I am on the test sequence, I can double click on another sequence, so I can be switching between sequences and work with them simultaneously. So it depends on what you're working. Let's say you're working with a large project, and then this project has different sections, so you can create a separate sequence for each project and then start working with them simultaneously. So that is just a basic walkthrough of what you can do with Adobe Premiere Pro, how you can import videos, how you can put videos on the timeline, and how you can work on sequences. So we will talk about all these other tabs. For example, let me just give you an overview before I end this tutorial. So you have color. So basically color, because first thing you need to do, because the editing has a workflow. First you assemble your files, next you go and edit, cut, and import the videos that you want to use on the timeline, and then maybe next you work on colors, do some color correction or color grading, and then later you can add some effects, you can work on audio, you can so this one is actually not that new, but it started in 2018, Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018 and 2019. That's the motion graphics, where you can import or use different types of motion graphics that you were not able to do in Premiere, in earlier versions of Premiere Pro, maybe only with After Effects, but now you can do all those stuffs. So I'm going to end this tutorial here. I hope you've learned something, and then you will be able to apply it in a real life project. So I will be coming up with other tutorials later in this series, so that we can walk you through step by step. So remember, this is just an introductory video about Premiere Pro, and then we will do more videos so that we can walk you through on how to actually create a project from start to finish. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Thank you once more.